Hey everybody, it's me, Jose Segura, your SMEA president. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. This is Friday, May the 27th, so we're getting pretty darn close to the end of the year. So I don't want to keep you very long. Got a 3-day weekend ahead of you, so let's get started. I really need to start by addressing the horrific events that occurred in Uvalde, Texas, just a few days ago, where 19 fourth graders and 2 classroom teachers were murdered in their school. And I know a lot of you are thinking about it and you're talking about it. Some of you may be having conversations at whatever level about it in your classrooms with your students. You know, kids watch the news, kids read stories online, they know what's going on, and they have questions. And the more I hear and the more I read, just the more heartbreaking and devastating this entire event is. And I'm not here to give any answers. I'm just here to acknowledge that this has occurred, that as a local association, you know, school safety, classroom safety, those are the kinds of things that we bargain. Those are the types of committees that we sit on. Those are the types of things that we get involved in. We want to make sure that our members are safe, that our students are safe, that our schools are safe places for everybody who works in them. And I'm sure the folks at Uvalde thought the same thing, believed the same thing, and that didn't stop from happening what happened. And again, the more I think about this, the more I read about it, the more information that it becomes verified, just makes the whole event just that much more heartbreaking. 19 children from the same 4th grade classroom being taught by a couple of veteran teachers co-teaching that class, didn't make it home on Tuesday. And that's real. And it's just heartbreaking. It just is mind-bogglingly heartbreaking. And so as we move towards the end of this year, we keep those folks in our thoughts and our prayers, but more than just our thoughts and our prayers. There's always something we can do, whether it's to make sure that we understand what the needs of our students in our classroom are, that we understand where our emergency materials are, that we know whether or not we have the provisions necessary to sustain us in a lockdown in our classroom. If your intercom doesn't work, tell somebody. If your door doesn't lock properly, tell somebody. If you don't have the correct provisions in your classroom for a lockdown, tell somebody. If you have windows that don't shut properly or don't lock properly, tell somebody. Make sure that if, heaven forbid, you are ever required to shelter in place, to lock down with your students, that you could do so to the best of your ability, knowing that you did everything you could to make sure that you are ready if and when, hopefully never, if or when, something like that does happen. So we just want that to be out there. Also, we've had a couple of lockdowns recently in our district at a couple of different sites, actually at several different sites. And it made obvious that there were some holes in our district's preparedness for lockdowns. And so we addressed that. We brought it to LMC, we talked to the district, they acknowledged that there were some holes. They also acknowledged, and so did we, that it's been a while since anybody had to worry about something like that. You went through almost all entire year without having to worry about things like lockdowns because you were all in distance learning. And it's going to take a minute to get back to up to full speed, but the district is working on a district-wide plan to make sure that folks are trained, that students are aware, that site administrators are trained, that we get back to our regular drills so that folks understand what needs to be done. But that's what we can do. That's our part. But for right now, for right this moment, if you go back to the email this video was attached to, there's the first section of the email addresses the Uvalde massacre. There are individual still images of each of the 19 children and the 2 teachers who were murdered. And there's also a link at the bottom of my comments that'll take you to a couple of websites where you can actually just read a little bit about each of them, just to humanize each one. Each one is not just a child, just a student, but they were somebody's aunt, or they were somebody's niece or nephew or cousin or brother or sister or child and grandchild, and you get to hear a little bit about each victim from somebody who loved them, and that's important because they were all loved. Okay, this next item is a contractual item. It's section 5.13.1 in our contract. Essentially, what happened is we bargained in a floating half-day, optional half-day, where you could do some prep, get ready for your school year, and be paid at your contract rate for that time. And so if you go back to the email that this video was attached to, you'll actually see a list of dates. It's basically the 2 weeks before school begins for most of us. During that time frame, site administrators will be on campus. You can come to school any one of those days, check in at the office. You can work up to 3.5 hours and be paid your full contract rate for that 3.5 hours. So when we say your contract rate, we mean your actual salary schedule rate. So if you're not sure what that is, take whatever place you're going to be on the salary schedule next year. So find that cell in the contract, and then take that number, whatever that total number is, divide it by 186. That'll give you your daily contract rate or your daily per diem rate. And then take that daily rate and divide it by 6.5, and that'll give you your hourly contract rate or your hourly per diem rate. Once you know that, you can multiply that number by 3.25, and that'll tell you how much a half day is. Or you could take your daily rate, right, and divide that in half, and that'll give you your half day rate also. And so there are specific days when your site administrators will be in the school. Again, it's 3.25 hours. You can do it all at once. You can do it over a couple of days. It's up to you how you want to put that time in. It is voluntary. You do not have to put that time in, but if you do, you will be paid for the 3.25 hours, which is a half of a work day, a contract day, at your contract rate. And that's section 5.13.1 of our contract. It applies to all members, right? The contract doesn't say just classroom. It's a language that applies to all members who can put in that additional time. PD for Me, our last PD for Me of the year is happening on Tuesday. The PD for Me movie club is going to meet for the last time. They're going to see Top Gun Maverick at the Santa Maria Theater at 4:20 in the afternoon. So if you're interested in seeing Maverick with the PD for Me movie club, as always, the movie club pays for the tickets to get you into the theater. You're a guest of SMEA, guest of the PD for Me for these events. So come on out there, go to the back of the email this video was attached to, click on the link, and let Christina know that you will be coming. She'll be excited to see you. Again, Maverick, PD for Me movie club next Tuesday, the 31st at 420 Santa Maria Theater. Arbitration. All right, so we had a grievance in regards to night conferences for our elementaries. As you know, the position of the association has been that even though the night conference language has been modified from previous years into this newest iteration of our contract, there's nothing in there that requires folks to participate or attend in night conferences. It does require that night conferences, that a night is designated for night conferences, both the fall and the spring, but it doesn't say anything about folks having to attend those night conferences. So we went all the way through step 6, which was the appeal to the school board. School board, of course, sided with the district. And so we are taking this to arbitration, which is our step 7. Arbitration is binding for both parties. So entering into arbitration, both parties agreed that whatever the decision of the arbitrator is will be adhered to by both sides, both the association and the district. And so we will continue to fight this. And just so we're 100% clear, this is not about whether the association believes there should or should not be night conferences. Not whether or not the association or anybody in our association believes that night conferences are good or bad or of value or necessary or not. That is not the argument. That is not the point. It is about what the contract says and what the requirements are. And we don't believe the contract requires members to participate in night conferences. We don't believe it requires members to stay for an entire 2-hour night conferences. And in fact, we don't believe that the 2 hours is even required for night conferences, just that a night conference will be scheduled and it shall be up to 2 hours. We also believe that whatever time you put in for night conferences is part of your contract day. So if you're going to do 2 hours of night conferences, then you're going to do 4.5 hours during the school day. If you're going to do an hour of night conferences, you're going to do 5.5 hours during the school day, and so on. This is contrary to what the district believes, which is that you are to only be on campus for 4.5 hours of a contract day, and then you are required to come back for 2 hours of night conferences. None of that is in the contract. And so we are taking this to binding arbitration. Chances are arbitration will occur sometime in the fall once we're back. It will not happen over the summer. All right, and we will keep you posted as this process progresses. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so on a fun note, post Siesta Fiesta, we talked about this a couple of fireside chats ago. The post Siesta Fiesta, it's our welcome back luncheon for members. It's going to happen this August the 10th, which is the last work day before the students return on the 11th. The event is going to be from 11 to 1 in the afternoon. Taco Man Express is going to be doing our catering, and they've done this for us for several years now, and we love working with them. And we're hoping to be out at Rotary Centennial Park, which is the park near Walmart here in Santa Maria. It's got a nice big parking lot. It's got a huge covered picnic area, which is great. Keeps you out of that August sun. And it's a free event to all of our members. We'll have some vendors out there, some booths. We'll give away prizes. It'll be a whole whoop-de-woo. And we're super excited about bringing this event back, and we're hoping you will join us. Now, here's what I need you to do. We're trying to get over the summer numbers for the caterer to give them an idea of what to expect. And so to go back to the email this video was attached to, you'll see a link in the section about the post Siesta Fiesta. It's a super short response survey. I just need to know what your work site is and if you believe you'll be coming or not. You think you're pretty sure you're going to come, you're probably going to come, you probably won't come, or there's no way you're going to be able to make it. So just let us know so we can get a good idea or somewhat of an idea of numbers for the caterers. So the whole thing takes about 30 seconds to complete, if even that. Again, just your site, and then let us know whether or not you will be there. It's a pull down choice, so it's a real quick, easy survey in now. We don't need to know your name or your email address, anything like that, just your site, and then whether or not you think you'll be making it to the post Siesta Fiesta. And by the way, it is a 2-hour event from 11 to 1. You can come for just part of it. You can come for the entire 2 hours. You could just come and grab your meal, say hi, and go. It's up to you how you want to interact with this event, but this event is for you, and we're super excited to bring it back. All right, folks, that's it. That's all I got for you today. Hey, have a great 3-day weekend. We're coming up to the home stretch of the school year, and I'm super excited for all of us to get to the end of the line here. It's been a long year. And I know a lot of us are really looking forward to an extended break over the summer. So have a great weekend. Find something that brings you joy and spend some time doing that. And then we'll see you all soon. All right. Bye.